Hello, and welcome back to some more Kerbal Space Program with me, the Green Dragon. So, last time we planted a flag on the moon and did some fun stuff there. Everything seemed fine, so why don't we take a look at some of the other things we have available, like science data. I mean, we could do these, but they do offer money, but we can certainly rescue a Kerbonaut from nearby, right? And then we have some science which we can spend to do some awesome things, right? So I'm thinking, I don't know. Well, small gear bay is certainly useful and necessary. Also, well, some of this would be good, I suppose. And what have we got of, as far as plane parts are concerned? I mean, we have the delta wings and stuff. Do we... well, we can't afford that anyway, can we? We can't really afford this either. Alright. Well, in that case... actually, why don't we just buy this? This will help, right? And that way we can take the mission to rescue the guy, which we already took, right? Fair enough. And then we can try to build a single-stage to orbit spaceplane, which will hopefully be good enough. Yay so. With a double cockpit, seems okay, should work out. How expensive are these 700? So they're essentially pretty damn ditchable. Well, 1200 really. None of these are any cheaper. Yeah. Anyway, so I guess we can yeah, we want a relatively simple spaceplane that can go into orbit safely and come back. So, and we do want a smidge of science on it. Possibly a pair of mystery goo containers and a comm device as well, which we can actually put like here. Maybe? Nah, that would be stupid. Not gonna put it there. That would be silly, I tell you. So let's take a look. If we did something like, yay, so how much delta V would that give us? 2000. 2000 is not ideal, but it could be just about enough to climb into a really low orbit. Possibly. Maybe. Though, admittedly, the thingy will get crappier. Unless we start ditching pieces, which I would really like to avoid if possible. Still... okay, where's the fuselages? How much fuel? Much the same. So we'll go with these, because that will just plain look better. Okay, that's... actually not exactly great now, is it? Let's disassemble this. And arranged in such a way as to ensure that that is at the middle of the fuel tank. Yes, perfect. Actually, that might not work out either. We can't really know until we add the jets, can we? Can we? Oh, come on. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. I know we still have the thingy for that to do, but, you know. Fine, go there, go there, go there. I mean, it should be okay because of stuff, really. Should be okay. Does that seem okay to you? It doesn't to me, but oh well, whatever. Okay, so here's to hoping that this is good enough, right? It might not be, but we can but hope. So let us see about the delta V readouts. We might need an extra set of fuel thingies. Yeah, 1500 is not that much. Okay. Well, either way, the thing is gonna shift backwards, right? If I add multiple tanks on here. Hmm. So how do I do this? Okay, so if I add a really tiny tank here, it will shift. Well, let's say I add a tank this big. How would that affect things? Let's take a look at the numbers, right? The numbers matter. That would give me about 2000. 2000 is not exactly great. I think I would be better off going with slightly less and just trying to trim the weight. Possibly, you know? Although these will have some monopropellant, right? I could add a set of 2 of these and have it that way. 1600, right? It might be enough, maybe. It's hard to guess, isn't it? I don't like that much. Still. What's the TWR? 1.8, yeah. We're gonna go with this setup. We're gonna have to add wings too, which is gonna add more weight, unfortunately. But, you know, I want to see if I can get this into orbit, okay? It's simple, but... and it seems like it would be pretty tight, but... I have some hopes for this. It might work. So we're gonna see if we can actually, well, make this work. So, alternatively, we could set it up differently to make it look better. Like, you know, so. Yeah, that looks a lot better, actually. We'll go with this setup. And do I have any canards? I do not. I do have the delta winglets, which... alright. And that, especially since that might shift backwards, or, well, if the center of mass shifts forwards, that's fine. Right? Or better anyway than it shifting backwards a great deal and the whole thing smashing. Alright. So far so good. And this is a test flight and we have a Kerbal to rescue. So since probably don't want to add it there then, do we? Okay. But yeah, there's a good... if we do it that way, we'll smash it into our own stuff, won't we? Right, so... turn off the indicators. All of them, thank you. Somewhere like here will be good. And just add a smidgen of fuel that is detachable. That or bombable. Alright. So that is gonna be relatively okay, right? Yep, good. And where are my gears and stuff? Okay, so yeah, first reusable rescue spaceplane, because these bastards seem to get caught out in space with a depressing regularity. This is our second one already. And that kind of suggests a situation where we kind of need to be ready for that happening again, because it will sooner or later happen again, knowing them. So that being the case, you know, we should be ready. I'm also gonna add some solar panels to this, because obviously we want to have a smidgen of power, and a pair of batteries, in fact. Excuse me. There we go, good. And this seems about as good as we can make it. So, how about... I mean, obviously we were planning... we have the mission to go to Minmus, but rescuing a Kerbal is obviously more important. So... okay, let's... because we did have a rescue 1, this is probably gonna be rescue 2, isn't it? Right, just remove the parts, crew, we need to have a freeze... okay, Neilbert, you've been through this, you'll be able to calm that moron down more easily, so... okay. I I think we just go for it. Hopefully we'll have enough with the intakes we do have on that. Speaking of map, set as target. Right, we're gonna... That's a bit closer than I would like him to be, but it'll be good enough. Okay, so let's just see if this thing can even make it off the ground, actually. And we might be killing Nilbert here. FYI. Okay. Picking up a nice bit of speed. I mean, this... Oh, shit. Well... Brakes. Brakes. We forgot a vertical stabilizer fin. That is not okay. Just observe this. Grab whatever signs you can and just... No. We're gonna just... yeah. We need a vertical stabilizer. It won't fly well without one. We kind of need one. Okay. Yes, good. And now, let us go and actually add the missing piece. Quickly now. That looks really fugly. We'll have to come up with a... Well, we can just use a winglet. Or a pair of them, like this. I mean, that looks really fugly, actually. Yeah, much better. Okay, let's try this again. And yes, I will be developing stuff on screen, and I will be using what cash I earn to develop new designs. All the usual testing stuff, you know. And it's now built in the cockpit, but that's fine. All the usual testing stuff will be done, of course, you know, with a certain amount of expenses involved. And as you can see, we are not really lifting off, which is bad. Oh, it's too late to abort. Frack. Okay. We do not want to try to fly this up to orbit. We want to try and land this. So we're gonna bring it around and try to land this. Again, trying to... This is my first time flying this design. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is totally new. This is, you know, not a tried and tested design. This is totally new. We are developing a rescue craft. A truly reusable rescue craft. Well, at least as far as that is possible. Trying to, anyway. Trying to. Okay. So, just get those lights on. Okay, ideally we want to land on the bloody runway. If possible. Just turn, you son of a bitch. Turn. Yes, pulling them G's. Throttle down. Well, at least we know it can fly. Right? Now, of course, it has ridiculously small amounts of fuel. All things considered. And throttle down. And yes, we are gonna be trying to land with those detachable fuel tanks still attached. It's a thing. I'm just stupid that way. Okay. Ditch these. Oh crap. Oh fuck me. Okay, he lived. Okay, development process. No, don't revert. We're gonna recover it. We're gonna take our losses because that's what we do. Okay, I think that it wobbles some. In fact, this whole design, we're gonna just rip it out and make this a far betterer craft by adding a lot more boosters. Because boosters are important. I'm gonna have a central assembly here for lots of good things. And what am I missing? I'm missing a pair of these. Angle snap on, thank you. Pair of intakes, thank you. And a pair of LVTs, thank you. Because it occurs to me that we have a rather heavy payload for a single engine to lift effectively, especially from horizontal launch. See, we have a lot more delta V here, and while that will go down slightly after we add some stuff, it shouldn't go down that much, hopefully. So, where, pray tell, are minus cells? There they are. Can I add them in? Yeah, this looks relatively okay. Good. Unless it decides not to let me add the things. There we go. Added. Good. Now for the jets. The question is, of course, whether this thing will be able to make it off the ground on its own, because previously not so much, eh? Not so much. Right, so this is looking better. We need another thingy here, sure, and a goo pod, because, well, for science really, and this will allow for near Kerbal science in all kinds of fun ways. And of course a pair of these will be good, and a single rechargeable battery here. Although is a bit expensive, why don't we use one of, or rather a pair of these instead? Yeah, that sounds great. Good, and yay winglets. Yay winglets is good. Right, so how do the centers match up? Ooh, that's not good. Central lift should never ever be ahead of this. Oh, we still had those there. Remove. Yes, so good. So we want to set the landing gears as close to the center of mass while still being behind it as possible, so that the whole plane can sort of pivot on its wheels properly when trying to lift its nose up. Alternatively, there is a different way we could set this up, which might actually work better, but that risks smashing the engines off on landing, so we'll try to do it the more traditional way, like so. A bit further forward, how does that look? Okay. Yeah, that seems okay. Hopefully we won't smash on landing, because that would, you know, suck. That would kind of suck if that happened. Now this seems okay, but I do want to add a set of struts to here, because I think that those did wobble a little previously. And I think this is good. I think we can try to fly this. Possibly. It might work. In theory. So, we are missing the action groups, of course. So, custom 1. Toggle engine. No. No. That's... Liquid is... You know, rocket engines are always on the second action group. There we go. And we'll try to launch this without any actual detachable pods. We'll add those if turns out we don't have enough fuel of one kind or another, right? And that'll be super awesome. So, igniting the jets. And let us see if we can get this thing off the ground. Okay! Okay. So this thing wobbles. We have learned a valuable lesson there. Brakes! Shit! Don't break. I think I have lost enough cash already. So we learned a valuable lesson. Struts are your friend. And yes, I think that's why... You know, if you do all of your development process in the actual career mode, for everything you use, then the career mode is not as ridiculously easy as it might seem, because you have to factor in the costs of development into it the way a real space program would have to inevitably do. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna use our money to help develop things, and that's why it will be important to design things intelligently and be very careful with exactly how we spend what little money we have. It's gonna be fun, in the Dwarf Fortress sense of fun. So let us attempt another launch and hopefully get this thing off the ground this time. After all, remember, we do have a poor bastard in orbit, although we will wait until daylight for this. Okay. Alright. Alright then. Let's see what this thing can do. Right, throttle up. It doesn't appear to be wobbling itself to pieces. And it can lift its nose up. It can get off the ground. Good. That's encouraging. Give it an upward angle. We are on our way, though. The angle of attack is not as good as I would like. It is rather heavy on the weight and rather easy on the thrust. Still, we are slowly heading upwards, which is good. I'm worried about the idea of giving it, you know, more wing. Well, that's the thing. Giving it more fuel wouldn't really work because we wouldn't have enough wing to lift it all. This thing is pretty darn heavy as is. I mean, we could always send a rocket up, but I would really love it if I could have a proper single-stage orbit spaceplane for doing this. One without using the Rapier engines. Because, I mean, obviously I could do it with the Rapier engines, but I don't have those yet. As simple as that, I don't have those yet. And that is a bad thing in this situation, because not having those will make it hard to build rescue craft. Also, I'm worried about running out of... well, a lot of things I'm worried about, but... ooh, shit, it's unstable. Twitchy. And not enough lift up front, strangely enough. Oh yeah, it really wants to settle. Just... be cool, plane. Be cool. Alright, yeah, the front winglets need to be moved forwards by a significant margin. I have to constantly adjust it in order to keep it on the 30-degree mark, on 30 on the 90, right? But, yeah, it really doesn't want to stay like that. And I won't be able to get much of a decent speed even at the appropriate altitude. I don't think we'll be making it into orbit. In fact, I'm relatively sure we won't be. Alright, why don't you observe the materials bay? This is worthless. Observe the mystery goo. This is worthless. Great. Alright. Just keep your... gods damn it. This plane is horrible. It just doesn't want to stay stable. Damn, son. Snap. Also, we're running really low on fuel. I mean... we had, what, 2300 in this? In the rocket stage. Although more now, what with us having burnt off a fair amount of fuel. You know what, fuck it. Ignite the main engines. Let's see what we can do with this thing. Right, we are out of fuel for the jets. Shut it down. Shut it down. Okay. Stay on the target, stay on the target. Yeah, we're not freaking going anywhere. Okay. Okay, so, that's a thing. That's a thing. We're gonna transfer the fuel over and we're gonna try and fly this thing back to where it belongs. God damn it. Frack. Just... oh yeah, this is a situation where we slam nose first into a bad situation. Seriously, you didn't transfer either? Just... son of a... Okay, kindly transfer the fuel. Thank you. Lighten it on the front. Spin up the jets and try to pull out of this. I'm gonna turn around and fly this back home, hopefully safely. Without, you know, splats. Right? I mean, at least it seems to turn pretty decently. Although it does feel like it wants to spin out on me. Okay, give me a bit of altitude. Yeah, every time I try to turn it dips downwards. Though of course running it at double speed couldn't possibly help. Still, how far away that is? 90 kilometers, right. You do want to climb a bit higher if possible, where you can get a bit of more of a speed, though. Alright, that will make it pull to one side, that will make it pull to the other. Just, you know, transferring fuel, making sure good things start to happen, ideally. 'Cause you know. 'Cause we want to make sure that, you know, we can actually make it back home with this wretched, twisted thing. In a reasonable amount of time, preferably. But, you know, it is getting there. Ooh, bit high. Yeah, this is definitely not a fighter jet. And I should be constructing it in an entirely different way, I think. The engine should be next to this and slightly more forward. The jets, I mean. Still, important part of the learning process and all that. Okay. Okay, shut down the engines. We will transfer in a full set of fuel to these, right? And then we will ensure... oh, we'll probably just dump the rocket fuel, possibly. Well, actually it should be fine as long as it's balanced, right? Theoretically, it should be fine. Anyway... yep. Yeah, it's just... speed. Yeah, this thing flies like a poorly thrown half brick, it seems. Go figure. But goddammit, I want a proper rescue craft. I want one. It seems like we should have one for near Kerbal operations, right? There should be such a design in our arsenal. It just seems like a thing that should be happening. We should have one of these, period. We should just have one of these. Yeah, that's an idea. Add one fuselage of fuel in the center to ensure that we always have enough, right? I mean, we could do that. Okay, throttle down, deploy the gear. At least this thing didn't explode yet, right? So that's something. Sure, whatever. Keep. Crew report, keep. Totally worthless, of course, but you know, whatever. Okay, so, coming in for landing. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. We do have a bastard in orbit that's kind of screwed there, but you know, whatever. Fuck him. Oh yeah. This thing does not want to handle well. It just doesn't. I suppose we could just blast a spaceplane up there with SRBs. That's always a possibility. But that's just so freaking cheap, you know? Okay, we are more or less aligned. So why don't we spill a bit of altitude? Not that much, thank you. Then pull up. We do need a bit more speed before touchdown. Come on, spin up, you bastards. Actually, you know, this is fine. This is perfectly fine, okay? Just need to balance out our vertical speed. Good. Good. Brakes. Brakes, brakes, brakes. Okay. So, certainly an improvement over the previous tests. We actually managed to land one safely. Okay, so we're gonna cut the episode here. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So, see you then.